Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 5 of ALYFE Connects, our very first virtual event brought to you exclusively by ALYFE Group. We've had a wonderful week full of speakers and sessions from different industries and backgrounds, and we are finishing the week very strong with even a double session of live music throughout today to get you really in the mood for the weekend, even if we'll be spending the weekend at home. This morning, we're kicking things off with some very special guests. We are delighted to welcome two of the 3 designers behind the Malaysian super brand 3thelabel. Justin Yap and Syomir Gupta, please welcome, join us, and thank you for coming. Happy Ramadan to you both.
Thank you. Happy Ramadan.
Can I cheers to Ramadan? I think that's probably not the done thing. I should be drinking. It's only tea, by the way.
I think the fasting has started, right?
Yeah. Never imagine we'll be locked down and fasting at the same time.
It's a crazy. Well, yeah, it's a pretty crazy thought, but I guess the timing was such that they really had no choice but to extend through Raya, right? I mean, taking health and safety into precaution. I guess the last thing you want is for people to rush out and gather at houses and prayers and Ramadan bazaars and everything like that. When we've done so well, I think, like the Malaysian frontliners and the health workers, the doctors, nurses, all of them have done an amazing job. If you look at the numbers, the recoveries, and overall, like the relatively low case numbers, I think we've done an amazing job. And so I think, unfortunately, that might all be undone if we were just to go back to normal for the Ramadan period, you know?
Yeah, it's only for the best.
Exactly. So it's a shame, but safety first, of course.
However, the numbers are going down at least. Like, you know,
the numbers
are happening. Still one of the highest recovery in the world, right?
In the world, yeah, exactly. And I think we should celebrate that more, you know, compared to a lot of shall we say, more developed economies. You know, our recovery rate in our they're putting the US and the UK to shame.
Yeah.
So long may that continue. How are you guys doing at home? How has the period so far been for you? It's been about almost 5 weeks, I think, since the first lockdown. How have you guys been home?
You want to start first, Justin?
Well, I'm being quarantined alone, so time flies quite slowly, I guess. But I'm just, doing one thing at a time. I've been cooking a lot. It's also one of my other passion. So I've been cooking, saving up, eating it for a few days, freeze them, send them to, friends, parents, whatever. It's been, and also taking time to really, spend some time by myself, think about the future, what we're going to do, which we will talk about later. Although as we all know, the impact is it hit us quite hard in various industries, almost everyone, except for the ones running supermarket. They're doubling up the sales, tripling up possibly. So maybe I'll run a grocery store in the future. That's the future, right? So
yeah, I think they kind of lucked out. My nearest supermarket opened because they changed tenants, right? And the new store opened the day the lockdown was announced. I don't think anybody has done better first day sales in retail history. So some people have still managed to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And so,
now is to go into
how about you?
Grocery store.
Surprisingly, I've made use with the lockdown time a lot. So, like, of course, the first 4 days, I really didn't do anything. I was just on Netflix and grab food on the sofa for like the first 4 days. I was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I just want to be lazy. I just want to do this. But on the 5th day, me and my collaborators, my business partners, and other few brands, we already had a meeting. We already like, okay, let's see this the realistic way. So we already predicted like, okay, what if this happen? What do we do? So we just like okay, let's have option A, option B, and option C. So the meeting on the 5th day kind of helped me for the next few weeks, because the week after, like, I could be, oh, okay, I want to color coordinate my wardrobe this week without feeling any, oh, how about work, blah, 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 because I already sorted that part already. So I think at the end of this lockdown, I'll be a very, very good professional house cleaner, because I think my house is spotless now. Like my folded clothes and hanging clothes are all like from white to navy to red to black. Everything is coordinated. I've washed 2 toilets. I've cleaned 2 refrigerators. I've cleaned my balcony. I've done some art project, and of course some other things that I do for the association. And what else do I do? Like, oh, I finished a lot of series. I even watched series that I thought I would like before. Like, okay, I kind of dig this. I mean, because of the time and you have more time, and when you have time and you're more relaxed, you could see things in other angles without feeling anxiety or pressure, because now you have all the time in the world to like relax and just chill and just see it, like, okay, see it from this side, see it from this side. And then, like, of course there are days that you feel like, why do I feel this? Why do I feel stressed? Why do I feel this? But at the same time, when you put things in perspective, like, oh, everybody's going through the same thing as you. You're not doing this alone. So that bit kind of help you to go through the day better, when you kind of like, okay, break it down. Why do you feel a certain way? Why? So
That's
yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
about. It's like, oh, there's no point to be, depressed, because everyone is going through the same
I
thing.
was like, yeah.
Every single person on this planet is going through the same thing, so you're not alone.
Yeah. But I got a friend in UK,
Yeah.
who had just like, she had 3 kids. So they had a very good, so they were living an expat life. So they were in Jakarta, and then they're back to UK, blah blah blah. So the kids were like, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? So she said, you know what I did? We showed them World War II documentaries between British and the Germans. Then they're like, oh, okay, we could play. Okay, all right. So they've been showing that 2 days in a row to their kids. They say that's another way to show them that we're not doing that bad, actually.
Yeah. At least we have internet, we have food deliveries,
Yeah,
grocery stores.
especially those freelancer, the ones that get job but get paid per job. Those are the ones that really, really affecting. Even us, it's quite affecting.
Yeah. In fact, just a couple of days before the lockdown, I was, going through some sales, and I was, brides coming in, starting to get orders, just literally 2 days before the lockdown, and the wedding is in what, July, I think.
Oh my God, me too. Me too. I can feel it. Yeah.
So, bit of a bummer, but well, it happens for a reason, right?
No, it's actually like everybody's like still recovering from last year, because last year wasn't that great for everybody, because it's either really up or really down. So people were like wanting to face this year with a positivity, like, oh, maybe 2020 will be great. And suddenly, like, okay, what do we do now? But it's good, but it makes us think forward. Like, what do we do now? These things really happen. So what do we do now? What's the next step?
Yeah.
So I think maybe the world needs something really, really dramatic like this to make us change our attitude towards life, and to think about what's more important. And everything changed. Like now, like we've been doing luxury stuff, 3,000, 4,000 kind of. So now it's like, does that even give any meaning to life anymore? Like, now when you buy things, like, you become more responsibility. There's more reason, there's more meaning to things that you get. Like, do I really want to buy this 3,000 ringgit bag, or do I use this 3,000 to help people, or to give your family members, or to save for your future? So things like this kind of like, it does, it makes you think, and it is the real thing. It is what's happening right now. So Yeah, it's you can see it as something that brings you down, but it can also be something that could bring you up because it makes you see things like, because some people they never had the chance to see things like through this angle, because people could be so, I think many people have been really spoiled, like in general people have been spoiled the last, especially this last 5-6 years. So I think like it's good to like take it a few steps back and to like breathe. And yeah, I think it's weird, but it's kind of not. Like for me, people who come from my generation, this is kind of normal because this is what we do last time after coming back from school. We only had 3 channels. We didn't have anything delivered to us, like not like, and my family is not so well to do, like to compare with classmates who go to traveling to Europe family holiday. Like we didn't have the chance to do that every school midterm holiday or end term holiday. So some of the holidays, like the third term of the school, we were just at home doing nothing, like this, like exactly like this. And so it some part of me kind of bring back memories of pre-Instagram time, because I noticed when I'm at home like this, I didn't even update my Instagram for the first 2 weeks. I was just like, I just don't want to do anything for a while, and it feels good, you know. And some part of me like, is this gonna be like this forever? I know I'm not feeling guilty, but sure, I feel guilty that I'm not doing anything. You know, like those kind of questions goes on with you every day with this. But it's kind of a subtle battle with what do I do? What do I want? You know, with this kind of environment, like because everything is limited, but you want to do more, but you also want to do right. So yeah, all these kind of questions. Yeah, but it's all
Well,
good. It's all good. Yeah.
and
So,
Moda, speaking of Moda, that at least we have something to do to help the frontliners. You know, Melinda has done a fantastic job gathering designers.
I thought
I,
that
I
is just a brilliant, like it just
hey,
fits.
there's something to do. You know,
The
someone just delivered some. I think it's shoe protectors, so I'm gonna sew it. At least that was time. You know, more meaningfully.
the one thing that I noticed most, the most prominent thing that I noticed when this happened is you see, I mean, like I could only see through the example of our association Moda, you could see people just all work together with having even having personal or like differences. People just work together. Everybody is just fighting to for the one cause that is bigger than us. So those kind of things is nice to see, like because when we do the fundraising, you could see like Malaysian are so what do you call that, pemurah, what do you call that, what's that word,
Eager? What are you looking me to say? Eager or
not eager, like giving, like
eager to give? And yeah.
yeah, like the fundraising is amazing. So at one time we had more fun than the material. So now everything is balanced. So it's nice to see people are giving helping hand without having second thought. Like that's one of the things that I felt really, really. I've never seen in that kind of impact before in this generation where everything is just together. Everybody can come forward at the same time. So that thing is kind of it gives hope to our country in particular, and the world in general, that there's still goodness in people. But it's kind of sad that we have to have something like this to make people work together. So I hope in future, like, we don't have to have a big situation like this to make us all get along together. So yeah. So with this Moda thing, I think it really fits the purpose, because also Melinda said why she started this is because she found out that the doctors and nurses are sewing their own PPE. And what are we as an association do about this? It's supposed to be our job to do this, because that's what we do. So I think what Melinda did, it's nice to show people that humanity can come through fashion, because our industry is known for its fakeness, for everything's all on the surface. You know, what's in for what's in this time might not be in the next 3 months. You know, all those kind of things. So now it's like it's nothing about that anymore. It's like it's just a totally different game, and yeah.
And also, I think worldwide, like big companies like H&M, Louis Vuitton, they're all gathering. Like even Kering Group, they're also like producing PPE for hospitals and the ones with the. And I think it's great that the Malaysia, and what melts my heart is I saw Bernie Chan's mother, who's like 90 something. She's cutting 91, right? Like amazing. My mother is 90, and I don't think she can do that. So that's really amazing. And I said, please send her a big hug from me. It's amazing.
And it's nice to see like all these designers, factory owners, sewers, and different background you could see, from a datin, from a factory worker. Everybody's like, do you have more material for us to sew? We want to contribute something. We want to do something. A lot of people are offering. That's a really, really nice thing for me to see. Like, people are so generous with. Malaysians are really generous, actually.
Yeah, it's really heartwarming to see that.
Yeah. We're still getting, like, every day we're still getting emails and messages saying like, do you have material for us to sew? We can do how many pieces a day. So those things are really nice. Like it was like you said earlier, change everybody in the world. Like you could say, like big brands like H&M and everyone is producing things now with responsibility. It's no more about just one reason anymore. So I think it's kind of good. So like when they sell things, when you buy, it's not only for it could be used for practicality too. Now it's no more only about style or just the aesthetics of it. So it does change people's way of producing, especially for business owners and producers and people who create things. We are becoming more responsible as in general, people will be more responsible with what they do.
So I saw Melinda like carrying huge rolls of the PPE, and I've never seen such a big truck in my life. Where was those delivered?
To HKL, to Imare, so we have a list of hospital where we have to send first. So everything is done accordingly. Imare and Fashion Valley has been really generous too. I've never seen such trucks before. I've never been institution that we've been communicating with doctors and nurses and hospital. Every day, I didn't even know PPE is PPE. The name is PPE before this, So like, it kind of it does open up your mind. It does make you want to know more things. Then it's just not only about who you are. The world is a bigger thing, and like, it makes you want to know things that you never thought you would care or even bother to know before. So yeah, it makes you realize like, oh, how can I be so stupid? And
Well, and
it's amazing.
Sorry.
No, Justin, please, Justin, continue. By the way, while I've got you, there's a slight, I think, audio issue at your end, I'm afraid. So I've been putting you on mute. It's nothing personal. We definitely want to hear you speak.
Yep.
Every time I'm not talking, I'll be muting you, okay? But as soon as you're ready to say something,
right,
I'll put you back. Put you back on. Nothing personal. I'm not trying to keep you sad.
So maybe we'll let Syomir talk, then I'll just nod.
Smile and wave. Smile and wave.
Yeah. So are they still getting donations from public, or are the donations still coming in? It's open, right?
So maybe money-wise, or physical, people are offering money, people offering material, people offering services. We're still getting.
Right. Because I see that Melinda is also like trying I did tell her that, oh, when you have something for me to sew, just send it over. I think arranging, and finally I got them this morning. So that would be great for me
Yeah,
to spend.
we're getting more. This week is the week that we're getting more fabrics. That's why we delivered to you. We managed to.
Yeah, that's great. So you want to talk about Ryan? Ryan will be so different this year, won't it?
Let the host ask us, though.
I guess he's got a natural flair for this. Well, I was definitely interested in asking you guys, because I know you have a wonderful looking new collection to show us too. But also, yeah, like you said, it's going to be very different this year. And maybe I shouldn't jinx this, but people are already talking about the MCO being extended to the end of Raya, through the whole month of May. So things will look very different. So with that in mind, before we show off your wonderful new set, what do you think this will mean to you guys in terms of the next few weeks? I mean, you've seen wonderful things happening in the last month or so, but over the next month, how can you address the challenges that you guys face in terms of, now that events are out of the question, you can't have any like live showcases, for example. Are you guys going to be doing maybe any virtual runways? Is that like a thing you could explore, or?
That's for sure. It's in my mind, but it all depends on. Well, what you can see here, that's supposed to be for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. That was supposed to be on the 10th of April. See, has been postponed or possibly canceled. I don't know. So maybe we'll look into doing a virtual fashion show, or things just have to go a different way now, rather than just have a physical event. Like what we're doing here now.
Sure, that could be a lot of fun. I think we've had a lot of fun doing it this week, and I think generally throughout many industries, from hotels now, even because they're completely traveling. Yeah. A lot of people doing virtual tours, like 3D gallery exhibits,
markets, bazaars.
Absolutely, everything is being brought online, and even those who can't take it online, like restaurants, for example, they're doing full delivery kits, but not just food, not just like meal delivery, but they're sending you like their chef's ingredients to cook at home. So they're like preparing not just meals for you, but meal kits, which gets people a bit more involved in the creative, in the culinary creative process, I guess you could say. So it's very interesting to see how a lot of different industries have responded to the crisis, and how people are innovating and inspiring each other to do things a bit differently. And it's a shame. It shouldn't take a crisis to inspire this kind of thinking. But sometimes humans are very resilient. So sometimes it just sparks that thinking which you didn't know was inside. Syomir, you mentioned it before. Something that you haven't seen before and you didn't know was within you. And sometimes it takes a kind of a bad situation or whatever to really bring that out of you.
Yeah. Of course, there's so many like what you guys were talking about, like you were asking Justin about a visual fashion show and whatever. So normally when we especially for Raya particularly, our fashion show would be like a month before Roster starts. So at that time, people were still in denial that this might not happen, because I managed to do my fittings 2 weeks before the fashion show was supposed to happen. So money has been paid to, I think, like 3 groups of models. So that will be like around 40 models. Deposit has been paid, venue has been paid, but people were still like hopeful, like, oh, maybe it's just a two-week thing. But if we were to know this could actually possibly happen, so I think in future we will have an option, like for modeling agency, for like big corporations like Zalora or whatever, they will have this in mind now as a backup plan, because even now for us to even do a virtual fashion show to like compile everybody and coordinate is just already puasa month, and it's just too money. It consumes a lot of money. But what I noticed, especially for the advantage, is for a women designer because they could wear their own clothes and like talk about it on Instagram. I can, but I don't think Malaysia is ready to see me in my baju kurung yet. So you know, like they have the advantage to be creative and to sell it in other platforms and other ways that they never thought of doing, because normally we will have our assistant, our stylist to do it, but now we have to like do it ourselves. The old, in a way, it kind of like remind you of how you started the game, because you were the person to actually sell it. So now, again, it goes with the basic of going back to basics. So with designers, it's nice to see that owners of like Alia Bastamam is selling Alia Bastamam herself, Nurita Harith is selling Nurita Harith herself. So it's kind of nice to see this kind of creative changing happening towards the attitude of marketing your stuff. So and of course, like you say, like chef, people are getting creative. Like, how do we do this? Of course, we want to break away from the routine, and at the same time, we want to make it interesting. But at the same time, we have to follow the regulations, right? So, like, like now, like you said just now, like chef going to the house and cook for you, and then like, it does. I think human being, by nature, we have an abstract kind of mind. So I think this is a time where you're using that more and more and more again.
For sure. It's interesting, like for the designers going back to basics. It's like what reconnecting with the very beginning of their passion, right? Like it's rediscovering who they were at the beginning of this process, and maybe that inspires something for them to move forward with as well. So yeah. Hopefully, there is always
the door as well. You know, the whole piece.
Yeah.
You know, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one thing. That's one thing we have in this situation that we.
But I think I do miss a lot is human touch, because I'm a very, I like to even friends, you know, I just like to like pinch or like slap or like I miss that part most, I think. And
see, we haven't even hung out with Nurita's baby Iskandar.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer. And the mother is here. We don't get to see her too.
Yeah. And then before, like for me, like working out is I need someone to shout at me all the time, and I need someone to just have things for me to do, and I'll be really good at you just scold me and I just do. So it kind of changed my way of working out at home, because I was like, I'm just too lazy to motivate myself without people shouting at me. So I thought I thought I'll be slacking in working out, but then again, you start to like, why don't you as a person want to like, why not I try do this? Why not I try do this app thing? Maybe it's not as complicated as you think it will be.
So have you been doing it?
The first 2 weeks I've been doing the app challenge to me, but then now my gym, we're doing this online classes. So we're actually doing CrossFit using our house furniture or whatever that is available around you, and it's kind of nice to. It's like watching Black Mirror a few years ago. You never thought this would happen. So while doing the class, like, oh my God, this is all the people I see every day for the last 4 years in the morning. Like, I see them physically, and then we're all in this computer screen working out together. But, it's weird, but it's not. But, so that kind of thing is kind of like, you thought you will never achieve something, but then there's so many options. So it was interesting for me to work out, seeing the coach showing me what to do on screen, and like, you have problem with your audio, and like, what are you doing again? How's that again? Like things like that. But after a while, it's kind of okay. So I've been doing online CrossFit 5 times now since last week. So yeah, okay, it's okay. And I've also challenged myself to try to jog up my target is 24 floors, but I managed to do 15. Yesterday I did 22 floors, so yeah, my target is still going on.
At least you have 7 days to run.
Yeah.
Once you
I think, 24 floors is. I mean, you said what you got to 23 yesterday or 15
22.
yesterday, was it?
22. I could do 24.
Well, I mean, I'm in the same place as Justin here. I think that's 22 more floors than I have managed. So, well done, Syomir. That's pretty good.
And it's so weird that I thought I will bump into other fitness enthusiasts, or but no one is exercising at my condo. Like, I'm the only one going out and down. Like, I thought I would bump into people, but no.
Yeah, the other day I went out. There's nobody on the street. Not at all. Not a single soul.
Yeah. I'm quite lucky. I've got an old treadmill in my apartment, and so it's just by the window, so I can just walk. I just walk on the treadmill and just look out the window and pretend I'm outside. It's an exercise in mental fortitude. I'm trying to keep myself safe.
Going to the grocery, looking out now.
Yeah, going to the grocery is the most you could feel.
Do you have house? Show me.
I've got Great Eastern Mall near me, and I've got my condominium grocery store downstairs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But near your house, there's a lot of eateries as well, right? Like stalls and whatnot.
All no.
Yeah. Oh, they're not. Okay. Yeah, but there's
only for there's few, but only for like the nasi campur, right? It's only for takeaway. You can just
right. These are something you don't really cook, do you?
My mom stays next door, so I'm quite lucky that way. My parents are my neighbors, so yeah.
And they're more than willing to cook for you.
Oh, they are the happiest now because all their son. Yeah, she has 3 sons. All of us are at home. So now the good thing is like another thing. What I say, it brings back childhood memory because now we have a new family dinner time because my mom said there's no reason for you guys not to eat together at the same time because everybody's at home. So now we have our new official dinner time. Everybody's sitting on the table. It's like when we were small. Like, it's amazing way. Like, you see my elder brother, my younger brother, my parents. We are all sitting together eating dinner. So our new time is 7:45 every evening since lockdown 1. So we've been having family dinners, which is good, which is nice. We've never done that for a long time. Like
that's another silver lining, right? Like a lot of people are embracing. A lot of people are really embracing the time spent now at home with the family, more time with the kids.
Yeah.
I know some people probably want to kill their boyfriend or girlfriends by now, but I think for the most part, I think people have enjoyed the quality time at home because, like you said, Syomir, like we get so wrapped up in the modern world and it's so fast paced and we're always just kind of chasing something, which is going on. There's always something else to plan, something else to do, someone else to be, and it's always just moving forward. It's nice now to have that time to settle a little bit and to reflect and recharge and rethink, right?
Yep, because people are always about what's the next thing. They didn't have. So I mean, like if you notice, even the way people are marketing things now, it's like making you think like you don't need this now, but they want you to think that this is what you're supposed to have in 3 months. So with that happen, we as a human being, or you as friend, you have time to enjoy the things that you buy. Like I just got this. Why not? I spend few times and like get to know what I buy instead of buying the next thing and then not having. That's why, like for me, that's why I have so many things that I've never thought I have. So like when I was coordinating my wardrobe, I even found things that I didn't even open in 2014 because it's always about getting the new thing. What's next? What's next?
Next thing. So it's nice to take stock. But
I realized that I have got
saying that,
so much things in the closet I'm not used yet. So yeah.
Speaking about that, I've been spring cleaning my closet. Now I'm only allowing myself to fit whatever I can in my closet. Anything that's excess has to go. And on the shoe rack as well, like as you know, I'm a big fan.
Shoe haul.
Everyone's pulling out the Marie Kondo. You know, anything that doesn't spark joy, gone. Out.
Oh, talking about Marie Kondo, I actually, of course, I heard the name so a lot, right? And I have this habit when people are talking about something so much that I refuse to watch it. Like even with movies or song, when it's just so out there, I refuse. Like, no, I'm not gonna give in. So like 2 days ago, I got Netflix for the last 4 years, being so stubborn not to watch Marie Kondo. So I actually let's watch this Marie Kondo thing. And so for that day, it made me wanted to because of Marie Kondo, I organized 9 baskets of my DVD collection from the last 20 years, which I'm kind of like hold on things too much, but this is just too ridiculous. Like, who watch VCD anymore, right? But I still have
CDs now. That's old school.
I still have a functioning DVD player though. If I didn't have that functioning DVD player, I would have thrown all my DVD. But I got to know that I've got really amazing limited collection of good stories, good movies with original cover, and so I kept those and I threw all the lousy ones. So I actually threw 6 big shopping bags containing VCDs and DVDs 2 days ago because of Marie Kondo.
Wow.
That takes me back. But saying this all, guys, talking about new stuff, I think it would be a good time to talk about your new Raya collection, right? Because while we're talking about making space in the wardrobe, might as well make space for something which is worth buying. And I think I've taken a quick look, and I'm going to get it on screen here. Like what you guys have done for this season's Raya is really, really nice. And so, please talk a bit more.
Well, as you know, 3thelabel, it's part of our diffusion line. Me, Syomir, and Rita. Well, I really like this year's collection because it's so understated, but at the same time, it makes a very powerful impact. Some of the prints that you cannot really see because it's so subtle.
The prints are actually hand painted by us, basically Justin and Norita. But Justin, you also need to tell. So with our style is we have 3 designers. So we will have 1 leader for each season. So we will work in rotate. So I think the first. So all of us had a chance to be a creative director or a project director of that collection. So I think this one is under Norita?
Yeah, this is under Norita, yeah.
So Norita will give us the guideline. This is her inspiration, blah, blah, blah. So all of us will have our homework to do based on what she said. So in particular,
this beautiful picture here. These are all your models, correct? Is this your personal range that you're?
This is my personal. That's my own brand. Syomir Izwa. Yeah.
This is a different collection.
Yeah, I'm using. So basically, this is my brand is all about. We have different kind of stories for different collections. So I normally do things that inspired by traveling, by history, culture, or personality. So it's always getting stories from somewhere really, really far or just next door or from my family. But this time I'm using something that is really local, something that is really close to my heart, close to Malaysian. People would stay in the Bangsa. So all the girls that you see in my campaign are real people that have businesses, personalities, live there, associated themselves with Bangsa. So these are all friends that
So this is a Bangsa Baju.
Bangsa Baju, Bangsa collection, Bangsa, the Bangsa girls. So I've got the Bangsa girls. It's called the Bangsa girls.
Well,
We
I love
cover
it. I mean,
different
it's very
backgrounds.
bold. It's elegant. It's very clean, but there's a lot of floral elements too, which I like. It makes it pops. Even like the past, even on the minty kind of green here on Sarah Leanne, it's very sleek, very elegant, and it's form fitting. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's Yulin. You can see Yulin also wearing kebaya. So I use business owners, designers, friends, so people who live there, who has business there, people who you see in Bangsa a lot. So how I get my models? My first question: Do you see yourself a Bangsa girls? Whoever said yes, I said okay, you're in. I didn't ask much. So even the ones who stay in Damansara High, but I asked them, you think yourself a Bangsa girl or Damansara girl? Oh, I'm a Bangsa girl. Okay, you're in. So that's how I got my 18 girls. And of course,
there is a subtle difference between the Bangsa girl and the Damansara girl. Huh? Forget about the Monkiara girl. She's out of the question.
But it's also a state of mind. Like Bangsa, there's always a Bangsa in each of Malaysian according to what era and what year you were born. Because Bangsa played a different role from different age group of people. From my time, it used to be a clubbing hub on Saturdays and Fridays. Bangsa used to be different in the early 2000s, but Bangsa is different now to compare to 10 years ago too. So like there's always a different part of you that connects with Bangsa. And also this campaign, I also covered all types of backgrounds, all types of body shapes, colors, age group, races, everything I covered. And also it's a good time to show unity and inclusivity, especially with what's happening right now. And some of the girls that I use are also involved with the fundraising and working with the PPE gown, like Alia Basama, Nurul of Mimpi Kita, Melinda Loy. So it's just a way of me saying like to show some positivity with this lockdown by just showing visuals and pictures. And I hope will give hope, like, like this is just temporary. So I hope with this picture it brings you, because I think my picture kind of makes you smile, seeing all this personality being,
It does. And you can see, and you can really see, I think what makes me smile is like you can see how much they're enjoying themselves. You can see just the look of this isn't super posy, super like like glam cover model looking thing. Like look how much they're enjoying themselves. They're just having fun, and they're in it, and the energy comes across really nicely. So beautiful. And so everybody who's looking at this on screen now, you can find this on Syomir's Facebook page. Syomir Izwa right there, and we'll plug those in the comments down below the video. So take a look at those too. And I think actually it's only fair that we give now Justin his opportunity to talk to us about his collection.
Yeah, well, this is last year's collection, but you can still buy it now because I skipped this year. I'm not doing because I'm focusing on 3thelabel. Well, this collection is basically like a morning stroll in the park. You can see a lot of florals. I like a lot of greens, so this is a collection that consists of a lot of different shades of greens. And because I'm an instinctual designer, when I was sourcing the fabrics and I saw this floral, this orangey, peachy with a white base, that really caught my eye, and I thought, okay, I really want to work from that fabric. So then I started sourcing other prints, and I like colors that are quite bold. As you can see, the maroon here, which is really nice, and the fabric is really soft. So, and I've got some reviews from clients who bought them and say, oh, this is really cooling, because it's all about very easy to wear material for Raya, because it's always very hot. And when you visit friends, you want to wear something that's cooling. So a lot of the materials the clothing are not lined. So when you have lining, it's always like it sticks to your body. And I'm very much the kind of designer who thinks for the customers. So if you're wearing something that is so restrictive, you feel uncomfortable. And when you feel uncomfortable, then you don't look your best. Yeah.
And also,
Right, yeah.
I think if the fabric is really nice, what's the point of lining it? You want them to
Exactly.
appreciate the texture and
We will feel it on our skin. If it feels good, then you know it's going to turn out a great garment. So if we can go back to the label, I really want to stress. If you can see the blue one, that's one of my favorite.
Which one here? Sorry.
The one in the middle, that one that you're pointing at, that is one of my. I think that's going to be the best seller because the print is so striking at the same time, but it's very mellowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of
It's
it's very easy to wear, and
Yeah.
it kind of fits the situation that we are in right now.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a beautiful like rainbow pastel almost you got going on, like understated. Like, it still pops, but not in your face kind of way. Very nice.
It's like a color wash, you know, when you have all the favorite colors that combine together. And if you look on the plain, sort of more solid pieces, some of the clothing they actually have prints on it, but it's very subtle. This is possibly one of the plain ones, but we have some printed ones, which I drew on my mobile phone. And then we send it to a printer and then we test print. I think, that one and the blue one on the right. Basically, I was just waiting for a friend for lunch and I whip up my, I have a note, so I have a stylus. So I just started sketching and doing that color wash, trying different techniques on, which is quite fun. I mean, I would have thought that I could use my mobile phone and turn it into a print that could be mass produced for people to enjoy, you know? So that's part of the fun part of designing, really.
And being able to do that on the fly is quite something too. How amazing to be able to
thinking of painting them on paper, and it's very hard to control colors with paint and paper and then have it to translate into fabric, which is quite technical. So I thought the best way to do it is digitally. So if you can see that, it's basically done with my phone, which is great, you know. And I think when I designed this, I had a Note 8 and just stroking the colors, which I find it quite therapeutic, to be honest.
Jacob asked them, when did we start developing Raya this year?
When did you start developing Raya this year, guys?
It was during KL Fashion Week last year's fitting. We're already talking about Raya this year.
We need about 6 to 8 months before a collection could be launched and for sale. So 6 months is quite a tight crunch, but if you have a bit more time, 8 months is good because from getting the fabric sorted to getting the samples made, that takes a long time, and tweaking the sample, fitting, endless fittings.
Especially when you come out with your own prints and you experiment with things that is not usual for you. So, of course, the back and forth of, it's not nice, do again, not nice, do again. So that kind of things takes time too. So, but I remember like looking at this, I remember Yam gave us the paper during the 3thelabel for last year's Scalp Fashion. We were like, oh my God, we're doing fitting now. We're talking about Raya next year. Come on, guys. But now actually we are actually at that state like, it's already done. So we were talking about this like, So
you can see babies on sale and they're going on to. Now I can't wait to see it on customers though. Like you see on Natalie, of course, Natalie could pull anything. But I imagine this collection will be a big hit because it's so timeless. It's very strong. I feel that it also ties in the femininity and the sort of modest wear for the occasion, and that mint.
It's beautiful.
And I think the beauty with the label is you can actually mix and match the pieces with your own wardrobe, with your own existing pieces in the wardrobe. It doesn't actually just feel like a baju kurung. You can actually separate it and you can actually feel a contemporary piece that you buy
totally
Wow.
see this with the white jeans, that's quite nice. Throw your jewelry on.
Yeah.
Our vision is our style, our vision, your style. So basically, you could buy any of the piece and wear it your way.
There's no wrong,
So,
basically.
Yeah, that's
it's also, so
basically.
even for such a big occasion, you still have this individualism about what you're doing with the piece yourself. Wow, fascinating. Well, yeah, I can't say that either, and I hope a lot of people. If it isn't clear to the viewers at home, it should be, but this collection is all available on Zalora, and I think even if you use a couple of codes, you might get an extra 20% off. So do check out the collection. Guys, we've got about 5 minutes left, and we have had a couple of questions in from the audience, which you might like to handle. There's a couple of interesting ones, which I'd be interested to learn, actually. So we'll keep plugging your collection. We're going to send out a survey after the video, by the way, so in the comments below, where you'll be able to access the collection on Zalora too. So check it out. We'll share the links as well. But just to wrap things up, guys, we've had a couple of questions from our audience. First of all, from Howard. Maybe this is a controversial question. Maybe you don't want to upset anybody by answering it. Who is the most stylish celebrity in Malaysia, and why?
Should I go first? In my opinion,
if you dare.
There's not bias. I think Shah Alaya is one of the most.
I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about.
She doesn't.
She doesn't use a stylist.
Yeah, she's very stylish, and she does it not in a OTT kind of way. It's very. Sometimes when you see her at events, sometimes you see her on the street, she's always on point, but very understated. You know what I mean? So it's not like shouting out loud, I'm wearing head-to-toe design labels. She would make it her own style. Like, you see her in torn jeans with a shirt that is kind of unbuttoned halfway, and then she has her flats. She's not always in heels. Well, when you see her in heels, it's like, oh my god, this girl, she's elegant. Yeah. And when you see kind of like a boyish updo, you're like, oh, she can pull that off too.
Yeah. She's I was about to say Shah Alaya too, because especially when you see her not dressing up for an event, like when you see her on everyday life, like in the morning picking up her kids, because we used to do CrossFit together, and just to see her, she's naturally just stylish. It's just like she just put things really, really effortlessly, and she's not one of those local celebrities who will show up with ostrich eyelash and like contoured cheeks, and she's not about that at all. She has a European effortless flair to it, where she could just wear flip-flop and jeans with a nice fabulous earring and it still looks okay. So I was thinking about Shah Alaya too, actually, because she doesn't use a stylist. That's another thing about her. Everything is all mix and match from what she knows and what she understands. Yeah,
I think she's like a chameleon. You can throw anything to make it work for her.
Yeah. But for me, I've always had this long love affair with Sheila Majid ever since I was a kid. So I imagine 80s, we had a lot of bad moments, but Sheila Majid even looked nice in the 80s. So for me, she was always the level of someone that is celebrating her heritage, but at the same time doing it so elegantly. She could just wear something that is bareback without looking vulgar or looking, she just make everything look expensive and elegant. So to me, Shah Alaya is representing people that is what's happening now. She's like in the middle, someone who's connected to my generation and connected to the future generation. But Sheila Majid for me is evergreen. She's always in style for me. She's like my local Audrey Hepburn or something like that. Like always in style, because she has a staple. She's always in her. Everything is classic. She will never go out of style. So for me, she will always be my sweetheart number one crush. In terms of style.
Shah and Sheila, if you're watching, I'm sure they'll be happy to hear that.
Yeah, and for someone so petite, and she can pull off styles, right? I mean, if anyone hasn't met her, she's really a petite woman.
Yeah. And she made me appreciate the beauty of wearing a white shirt, jeans, and a nice diamond earring. She was all about that, crisp white shirt, nice clean hair, and it's all about your expensive jewelry that you for your mom or your very flawless. So that kind of like elegant, old school, kind of So she still managed to fascinate me. And another thing we locked down is I also follow her live concert every night on her IG, which you'll never see Sheila Majid doing that. It's always about orchestra and her big hall, her musicians and all that. But to see someone in that caliber doing something so casually for her fans almost every night, it was really touching, because you see people doing their best from different kind of industry, from food, from entertainment, from design, from you could see people are trying their best to be positive and selling their craft to the people that believe in them. So I think those again are kind of the examples that I see. A bit far from what you're asking, but
Good answer. Okay, well, I think the question we want to end on, it's also a good one, and it's interesting, I think, in the context of everything we've just discussed and like the changes that we've seen recently in the industry and beyond, and how things might change. Forrest Chan is asking, what are the fashion trends in Malaysia that you would like to see either put to an end and left in the past, or indeed, like, what are you seeing out there that you like at the minute that you want to see more people embrace and bring into more mainstream fashion almost?
I think now it's all about sustainability. I think it will give a new. I think now the new trend will be a revolutionary. You will see a revolution in basic wear. I'm sure it's going to be a revolution in basic wear, sustainability, and upcycle. Especially when this is happening, you just want to produce things that is multi-purpose. It's no more about one thing anymore. But Justin can continue.
The thing is, I've got a friend who's a zero waste advocate, Jasmine Tuan, if you don't know her. She's the one who taught me how to rethink and like zero waste, literally putting everything that you've about to throw away and turn it into something useful. I totally see that working because of how we look at fashion now and how we consume fashion. I think that would be a great way to start thinking, like the sustainability of fashion. How do we go from here? Like, how do I use the jacket after a while? Like how do
talking of Jasmine? Yeah, talking of Jasmine, we're in fact going to be inviting her on next week.
It would be great for her to elaborate more, because she really knows what to and how to influence you into zero waste. I've been saving up. Speaking of zero waste, I've been saving up peel and all that to make home cleaner, which I'm totally obsessed with. You just mix vinegar and orange peel, jasmine. So maybe we could, use that and vinegar and orange peel, like basically citrus peel. You soak it for 2 weeks, and then you mix a bit of essential oil, and you can make a home multi-purpose cleaner. So you can clean your table, and it's totally safe. So I've been using that a lot. So maybe we can think about turning into your Raya piece into, I don't know, cut it short or.
Yeah, I think a movement like that will happen. Like, I think there will be like a body or an organization that will collect all these things and make it into something. It will become a movement in the near future.
What about Fiji? They've been doing that for the kimono.
Yeah.
So that's one of the good start for the zero waste movement.
A couple of big retailers. I know H&M and Uniqlo, I think, have like an old clothes policy. You can take any clothes there that you want. It doesn't have to be that label. and they'll recycle it for you for free. So I think some of the big chains are doing it, and I hope it would be great to see more of the major retailers do it at the same time. So, and I think also in the context of the whole climate and situation, we've seen the planet start to heal in many ways. You know, now that, you know, like traffic and movement have been, has completely stopped, we've seen the planet start to heal in many ways, and I think that will inspire people to be more mindful about their, you know, their sustainability on a personal level. And when if we all do a little bit more, the difference will be, you know, will be huge. So let's hope that happens too.
The air has definitely been really. The air has really been clean. I could.
Yeah.
The sky is so extra blue, you know, and let's hope like.
All right. Yeah, I say we've just gone a little bit over time now, so I'm afraid we'll have to say goodbye to you both. Okay, but first, thank you very much for joining us. It's been very enlightening.
Have a good weekend.
No, of course, I hope you've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Take care. See you again. Bye. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, of course, to Justin and Syomir for coming along. I hope you find that as informative and enlightening as I did. It's always fascinating to see and understand how different people from different industries, especially the creative ones, are getting even more creative during these trying times. Of course, like the fashion industry is based so heavily on events and shows, but even to hear that the top designers out there are quite prepared to go back to basics, reconnect with the passion that drove them to take it up in the first place, and figure out ways to move around this lockdown and movement restriction is really, really inspiring. And I hope you found that. I'm going to go away for a bit. We're going to come back at 3 p.m. with the second session of our day 5 of ALYFE Connects. We're going to have some live music with Miss Kelly Sue is going to be joining us for some live music, some mid-afternoon tunes to get us in the mood. And then we'll be welcoming Elim Powell from Rawsome later on to talk to us about healthy food and some secret raya recipes before wrapping up the day and the week with Puva, who will be performing some live music tonight at 9 p.m. So come back later on. We'll see you later. Stay home, stay safe, stay indoors, and I'll see you soon. Take care.